again, Dalida?
Yes, 1 minute. So John Maxwell says, let me go back to that. God's gift to us is potential. Our gift to God is developing it. So how can you elaborate? Michael, we are talking about the law of rubber band, and mainly it's stretching. We need to stretch ourselves in order to grow and achieve our goals. So we started by a quote for John Maxwell. He says, God's gift to us is potential. Our gift to God is developing it. So how can you elaborate on that?
It's late. I just logged off my work computer. You're asking me to elaborate?
Anyone? Cynthia, you have something to say? Yeah.
Well, I think, like Arthur said, we all have a gift, and like John Maxwell calls it, the sweet spot, right? We all call it, he calls that we all have a sweet spot, and that means whatever, what we're good at, right? So what we're good at, we need to develop that, but sometimes we don't know what it is. We don't know what our sweet spot is, or what we're good at. What is it that we need to focus on, because that's what we're really good at. And so we do it by trial and error. But once you figure out, okay, I think I'm good at this, but I mean, this is what I want. I think I'm pretty good, but now you have to take it to the next level. So you gotta, what's the next level, right? And then after that level, what's the next level? And so that's stretching us, and that's really making us uncomfortable, right? If we stretch the rubber band wants to go back to its original form, and that's also us. You know, when I have to do things that are out of my comfort zone, I want to go back to what's comfortable, but then I know that I need to stretch myself. I need to better myself in order to continue to grow.
Okay.
So I gotta work on my sweet spot.
So it's mainly we stretch ourselves by pushing ourselves outside of the comfort zone. Mm-hmm. The worst zone that is relaxing, resting, and enjoying our time. But at this point, if we stayed in our comfort zone, we will be causing ourselves pain in the future, because it's known either pain now, and relaxation in the future, or the opposite scenario. Sarah, Michael, Raman, do you like to elaborate? You have any example?
Yeah, I think it's like what the others said. It's all about finding ways to get out of your comfort zone. And so, I mean, whatever you can do to enable that, I think is going to help you in the long term. It's like you take where you're at now currently, and then you try to grow. And then as you grow and you stretch yourself, like you're stretching the rubber band, but then that's going to actually enable you to stretch yourself even further in the future. So it's like, evolution in a sense, where you had all these like small, microorganisms, and then you didn't just get into like a human form. You had to go through all these different levels of progression. And so through that and through the stretching, I think you probably can help yourself in the future, like you said, and even like accelerate your own growth trajectory, where you're giving yourself the ability to learn a little bit more and get a little bit better. And then over time, all that stuff just compounds, and you start seeing results.
Yeah. Great. Sarah?
Yeah, I just want to apologize in advance for any background noise. But so I understand the rubber band, the law of the rubber band, and I feel like since we've started the mastermind, I have been trying to get out of my comfort zone. A few things that we've been talking about and learning that I'm new to is delegating. And I feel like this week I started to delegate. I felt like if I don't, I'm stuck where I'm at and I'm not happy. I'm also giving other people the opportunity when I'm delegating, giving them opportunities to grow as well. So I've been delegating. I've also realized that there's certain things that need to stop also boundaries was one of the things that we talked about. So yes, instead of taking on more, delegating and focusing on priorities. I think they all come in hand with the law of the rubber band.
Yep, this is actually was my next question. Thank you for reminding me. What are the times in your life that you felt you stretched yourself? What were your stretching experiences? Was it physically, socially, spiritually? What was the main stretching action you did? Rahman, your camera is off. Whenever you like to join, please do.
Yeah, so I can give an example of when I stretched myself. So it was the time when I was working full time, going to nursing school part time, and then just figuring all that out. I slept maybe 4 hours a night. It was extremely difficult to kind of manage all of that together, but I knew that that's what I wanted for myself. And I knew that I wanted to be in that direction of my career. So obviously it was a difficult time, that year and a half, 2 years, but it was definitely worth it. And I know in the past, in your last question, you had asked about kind of the rubber band, and I apologize, I haven't read, so I don't know all those details, but I feel like for me personally, you know, I'm continuously learning things that I'm good at that I maybe didn't think I was good at, right? So I think if you expose yourself and you're curious and you try a lot of new different types of things, you can realize that you can accomplish a lot more than you initially thought. I think we're sometimes limited in our mindsets, like, you know, as children, as we're raised, as to what we are capable of. And then as we grow into adults, we start to explore a lot of other things that, you know, we realize that we can handle and really stretch ourselves for.
Yes, I agree. Sometimes our vision is limited with certain things, and we don't see opportunities outside these. So once we decide to stretch outside our comfort zone and try things we are not used to, we notice we have really gifts in this domain, but we weren't stretching ourselves and trying it. So it's important to try new things in order to increase your awareness, know what you can do, know your real potential. Any example? Yes, Arthur.
No, I'm just waiting to talk.
Okay, and now concerning me, I had a lot of stretching examples in my life. Like one of them, when I decided to move from clinical researcher, employee 9 to 5 to an entrepreneur in insurance. And it was something really weird in my life. Like no one in my family works in sales, and insurance is something mainly for men in Lebanon. I was in Lebanon. So this was one of the stretching things. And I discovered that I really love communicating with people, sales. Even I am an introvert, but at the end, it's the daily experiences, the continuous development. I discovered this part in my life, and I never think I can go back to be working in the medical domain, just because I want this daily experience. With the research, you're just in front of the computer and doing the experiments. And I discovered this is not what's my real potential. I can do other things that I enjoy. This is one of the things. Maybe speaking with an accent is another thing that I'm stretching myself and going outside of my comfort zone to do, but also I'm enjoying it and I'm learning every time. And this way I'm growing and I'm developing, and I'm knowing you a little bit, but it's fine. So any other example?
Well, I got to go to, I tell you, when I had to, 1990, 20 years old, went to the desert. You're talking about, you know, outside of the not nowhere. I mean, come on, showering only once a month, you know, only eating twice a day, you know, having to hump and not eat all the things we did, and many other things that had to stretch your vision, right? So thinking, you know, having to, you know, public bathrooms in front of everybody, right? It's crazy, right? It's just you gotta stretch your mind. You got to go with it. You know, you got to say, hey, you know, it is what it is, and you know, I never had to go one, not have to shower for a whole month. You know what I mean? Or on eating twice a day, certain meals and stuff, and having to, you know, think outside the box in regards to heating your food up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So many things that go along the way that I had to, that really scratched my vision. So coming back, you know, the things I had to encounter now, it set me up for many other challenges in life that I knew that I could handle and get through.
Yeah. My new lesson in my life, what I tell myself every day is, if Arthur passed through all this and it's going, I can do it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm from Lebanon. I've been through a lot, but it's still not really personal experiences.
Understood.
Well, I can say, I mean, I think that there's been several things, but coming to the U.S., kind of like you, Dalida, I barely spoke English. I think I spoke enough to, let's say, if I ever got lost, I could get home. You know, like,
Yeah.
where's the bus? I'm going to whatever. So, and then I was a translator for my sisters, right? Because we were all at the same level. We didn't speak a lot of English. And then right away, we had to start school. And so I literally had to learn English, and I was a junior. And I had to really force myself to learn it quick. Then after that, I could have took the easier road and say, you know what? I don't speak English. I'm just going to stay in my comfort zone, get a job where I don't have to speak a lot of English. But I knew that I had come to this country to do bigger and better things. And so
Yeah.
I went to junior college, and it was, I remember having to write essays, and I barely knew how to talk, right? So what took some people maybe a couple hours, 3 hours to write an essay, took me 2 or 3 days. You know what I mean? So I really had to commit my time, devote most of my time to school. I didn't have a lot of time to, I mean, I did, because I made the time, but it was, I stretched myself, and, I think when I was in college, I didn't pass a class because of the English barrier, and I took it again. So anyway, long story short is, going through my college, my school career was tough because of the language barrier, but I didn't give up. I just said, you know what, it's just a little stone on the road, and I'm gonna jump through it, and I graduated.
Yeah, and it's worth it at the end. It brought a lot of opportunities.
Yeah. So I didn't graduate. What is it? Baccalaureate. What is it?
Baccalaureate. In Lebanon, we say baccalaureate.
Well,
Bachelors.
Yeah, I didn't graduate with the highest grade, but guess what? I got my degree, and I have my certificate.
That's good. Yeah. Sarah, you want to say something?
Yes. So for me, it's really hard to get out of my comfort zone. But looking back, I recognize those moments where I have gotten out of my comfort zone, and those moments got me to the next level. When I was 19, I started a company, and the intention was to actually do e-commerce and online sales, but it didn't go that way. I went and I did wholesale in the garment industry and fashion industry. 7 years later, so obviously when I start something, I just stick. I don't jump from one career path to another. Although maybe I plateau, I just hold on and I stick. Well, was uncomfortable. So I decided to get my real estate license just to fill up my time. And I got my real estate license. And then that was like the point where I was like, whoosh, to the next level. I left, I guess I would say, gave over the company to my business partner, and I chose to continue in real estate. During this pandemic, somehow, I think last meeting I mentioned, or maybe the meeting before that, I started e-commerce again. And it was funny because that was the plan 13 years ago, to do e-commerce. So I guess it's always good to get out of your comfort zone and try new things. And although I don't like change, it somehow happens and I don't regret it. It's always for the better, although it's painful.
You can't say I don't like change. Now, change happens when you didn't try enough and you still have potential, and you just decide to change to something easier maybe. But when you are changing to advance, it's good advance.
Okay. Yes.
Changing for a reason.
So maybe I just to correct, I guess, be more clear. I like change for the better, but I'm the type, like, I'm simple and easy. I don't like to change my hair color. I like certain things, and I'm content. So I don't I don't get bored. So I'll just continue to do what I do. But it's okay to want different things and try. And so these things I am learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I was in insurance, then I moved to network marketing because I had a better opportunity and I saw better level of success. And from network marketing, I reached to a point in Lebanon. Network marketing reached certain point. This much is the like the country. This much is the level that we can succeed in. So I moved to leadership and coaching because this is where I found myself. And I don't consider this as changing. I consider it's development. It's how you develop from stage to stage, so you don't stay the same. If I was still in network marketing or insurance, I will be limited because this is all what I can get out of it. Then I will be settling to be average. Michael?
Hi, yeah, I think that you just hit on a good point. I mean, I've told you guys, like, in my current job, I still feel like I'm being stretched, like, literally every day.
Mm-hmm.
Especially being in front of the camera. First it was kind of like this whole remote thing happened with the COVID situation, and then people were just kind of continuing the same ways, but now people are using their cameras more, I think, because we're missing that social interaction and that real face-to-face. So that's something I wasn't used to, and something that I had to get a lot more comfortable with. So, but I definitely think there's like a lot of room for stretching there still, because like I'm typically in meetings like this with less than 10 participants, but to speak in front of meetings, like we had one earlier today with like probably 500 to 700, 800 people in it. So that would definitely be a stretch for me, and could be a potential goal for me to like be comfortable being in front of the camera with that many people on a single call, and like everyone's like listening and watching your every move. So yeah.
Okay, now it's from my experience, I'll tell you, it's more nerve-wracking before you go on the camera. It's like when before you go on stage, you will be thinking, what will happen to me? What if I fell? What if I forgot what I need to say? But once you're on stage, you will be focusing just on delivering the message, and it's the same on Zoom or any other platform. So don't stress about it. Just if you need to speak, prepare, and it will go great.
I know sometimes I feel like I need more coffee or caffeine, because I'm like fighting these like thoughts in my head where I have one group of people that wants one thing and I have one group of people that want something else. and they're like kind of like going at it. So then I have to like play the middleman and like make sure I don't say anything that's like too much to one side or too much to the other side, to kind of keep that balance. So that's where I think I have the sometimes where I get nerves and I'm like not sure how to say certain things in a very PC way.
Okay. Another advice: caffeine will make you more alert and more like more reactive. So I think meditation and affirmation will calm you down, and you will be able to focus more on your on doing the right thing, on taking better decisions.
Yeah, that's a great point. Actually, it kind of helps you slow things down.
Yep.
I'll look into that. Thanks.
Because I'm sure caffeine will increase your stress.
Yeah, it can be like anxiety or like make you jittery. So,
yep.
Good point.
Okay, now we talked about your history about stretching yourself. What is a place in your life right now that you need to stretch? And you're going lazy, you don't want to stretch, you just want to relax.
Oh man.
I think it's, I mean, you want something specific?
Yep. The more specific you are, the more clarity you will get, and you will know where you are going. It's for your benefit. You don't want to specify, it's up to you. But I'm sure there's something we've been slacking on.
I'll tell you this. For me to get to say, hey, I'm going to 235 pounds again, that's a stretch.
Okay.
That's a stretch. But I tell you, I'm 2 pounds away from losing 20 pounds already, and I still said I'm still 20 pounds away, 25 pounds away and stuff. So, but it's a stretch. I mean, because now it's I want to eat. You know what I mean? Every Tuesday is Popeye. Yeah. I can't get my Popeye specials anymore and stuff. So, and I can't eat my burgers and can't eat my chips. I can't eat my, you know what I'm saying? Can't have my beer.
Okay, you're making me hungry. Stop.
I had today for what I had for lunch. I had an avocado and 2 pieces of bacon. Really, big guy like me. And Cynthia's snacking all day long, right? I'm like, you hungry again already? But
it's either pain now and pleasure later. So you had your pleasure early in your life. Now it's time for pain.
Yep. So that's the stretch for me. But you know what? But I'm committed. Every day I find myself what my purpose is, and I realign with that, and I keep on pushing and stuff. So, but yeah. So, but yeah, that's from stretching.
Sarah, you've been trying to talk. Yep.
So my thing that I do want to work on, obviously we are on Zoom, so that's a good thing, but is for me to actually be more comfortable being on camera, leading kind of like you, not necessarily in like what you're doing, but
okay.
Because I have to do open houses, and during the pandemic, the open houses are supposed to be virtual and live on Zoom. So I did one last weekend, and I published like a live Zoom open house, but I did it and I was like, I hope nobody joins. I hope nobody joins. Because I was uncomfortable, but I had to do it because I was committed to doing an open house. But I was like, what's the point of going there, sitting for 6 hours and hope nobody shows up on this live Zoom call? And then a few hours later, I'm like on Zoom, nobody joined, but I'm like eating in front of the camera. And any minute somebody might just pop, and join. But that was, I stretched myself there, and I like took the first step. I have not done any live Instagram stories or anything like that, but this is like my next thing that I feel like I need to do. Is work.
It's a decision. Set a date and go for it.
Okay.
Really, set it, and let us be accountable to follow up on you and be there, like your video and comment. You are doing a horrible job.
Well, I remember when they asked you for, I guess, feedback after our seminar, you just went straight and talked in front of the camera. So that's inspiring, but it's 2 years later and I'm still struggling.
But I've been struggling with this decision for 2 years before I took it.
Okay, so maybe.
Yeah, so now it's the time.
Okay.
Okay, who likes to answer? What is there some place in your life right now you need to stretch?
I can say one thing that it's been a stretch for me, and it still is, because it's so very much out of my comfort zone. It's doing videos, regarding my business, kind of like Sarah, right? But this is and another one that I need to stretch, and I still haven't done it, is going live, which Dalida, you and I have to do
next week. Not next week, the last week of August. I'll talk to you after this meeting.
Yeah. So we'll have a couple of projects, but anyway, recording myself and speaking about a subject, this is a stretch for me. It does not come natural yet. I believe that it is something that I will enjoy, and because once I'm doing it, I enjoy it, but because I've never done it, is really out of my comfort zone. And so I've been stretching myself because I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, and I would always have just let it go. Also, another one that I need to stretch myself is going live, which I've never done it, even just by myself. Need something that I need to do. I see a lot of people going live, and I know that's going to help me and it's going to help my business. I just haven't taken that step. And so those are the two things that have been a stretch, and I still need to stretch myself even more.
Okay, let me share my experience with that. Since the three of you are talking about this a little bit fear of being on public speaking, either online or live. I had this fear before, and apparently 90% of the people, it's the biggest fear in the world, public speaking. Everyone is scared of that. But what made me overcome this fear is the first thing, preparation. I know I was prepared and I know what I was saying. And believe it or not, I was watching Brandon Burchard's seminar one time. He had a live video. And you can't imagine how many people were talking bad about him and commenting negative things about him. And my biggest fear was people may talk things about me or give certain judgments that are negative, that will be annoying to me. Brandon Burchard has a big factor in changing my life. It's life-changing experience when I was in his seminar. So seeing people talking bad about this person who, to me, was doing the great things, I decided that their opinion doesn't matter. People just want to be bad in front of, want to judge and think that do what he's doing, and then you have the right to judge him. And it's the same to you. If you're talking the right information and giving the right things, some people will like you, some people don't. Focus on the people who like you, people who you are giving value to. And this, if you were able to touch one person and change one person's life, it's worth it. And let everyone talk bad about you.
And that's exactly what, I was having a conversation with Arthur where earlier, and that's one thing that I said, I was too concerned about what are they going to say and what are they going to think, and who cares what anybody says? They're not, my goals are not their goals, and I'm doing what I'm doing because I have goals, and that's the road I have to take in order to take those goals. So,
yes.
Yeah.
And the point is, live is a lot easier than prepared video, because like in my situation, if I need to prepare a video, I can't do any mistake in grammar. It should be perfect perfectly prepared
Right.
because it's already prepared. But going live, if I messed up with in a word, it will be fine because I can directly correct it, or it's natural. That's the point. So people won't be so judgmental as it's a prepared video.
Yeah.
So it's easier. Trust me, life is easier.
Mhm.
So just start by setting a date and start.
You know, I think that, you know, it kind of goes back to, you know, you can't be too concerned on how other people define you, right?
Yep.
The thoughts and opinions have nothing to do with you. But I get it though. I mean, you know, even when I first started doing videos a couple years ago, you know, and I was just because when I speak to just from the heart. I don't even I don't try to prepare anything. I'm just going because it just comes to me. And when it comes to me, I just speak it. But you still, I think the fact that sometimes is, you know, when one thing about live is that if I say something and it don't sound right, you can go back, try to correct it. Go, oh, my bad, or this is what I meant to say, but it's out there. I think people get scared of the fact that, like, if I make a mistake and it's out there, now people may take it, how they may take it. Just like now we're live. I think we're live right now. So what I'm saying and what I'm doing, people are gonna go, well, shoot, man, Arthur's a friggin' idiot, right?
No,
And,
don't worry. No one watches my YouTube channel.
I don't even care. I don't care. I mean, you know, I make videos, I put them out there, and I tell people all day long, and you know, either you love it or you don't. Either way, it's fine with me. But I think that we need to understand that, you know, just like Michael was talking about, you got somebody on the left, somebody on the right. I'm gonna tell you this, my friend. Serving in the Marine Corps, military, as a leader, I go towards one thing, and that's the goal. And there's people that are either going to jump on board or not. But I'm going to take you towards the goal. And if I'm trying to waver from that, then I'm not working towards the goal. I'm working towards pleasing people, and nothing ever gets done. So if you're just moral, ethical, and you know, and it's legal, and you're like, hey, I'm firm, fair, and consistent, and I'm working towards the goal, guess what? They can't get mad at you about that, because we're here to achieve objectives, you know, and as a leader of people, if you're in the liking business, you're in the no-going business and stuff. So, you know, so I do my videos and people love it. Some don't. And you know what? I just, hey, I'm not here to please people and stuff. So
Yeah.
Go live and just talk.
You know what? You're right, Arthur and Dalida, because I've gotten responses where people actually, I mean, look at my videos and they send me messages and you know, what they like, their response. So it's a great feeling. I remember I did one maybe like last month, and I said, hey, message me, tell me what you've done for the specific topic that I was talking about. And I had several responses, you know.
Yeah.
So we are touching someone. Someone is listening. Not everybody's gonna get value, but a lot of people will. So
Yeah, now it's a different subject, but it's important. It's a big part of the growth because you learn a lot by teaching other people. In Lebanon, when I was there, I was doing every day a video. At the end of the day, I called the section, "What did I learn today?" A lesson from the day. So it was very stressful experience for me to find a lesson from every day I live. Usually some days I'm just playing around at home. I don't pass through any experience, but I was still committed to find a lesson. And this forced me to analyze every situation I was living in, or every thought I have in mind, to get out of a lesson, to give it to people, to tell people about it. And so you learn a lot by delivering this information and telling people things you have. Sometimes you will get more clarity when you share your experience and try to teach it. All the gurus in the world say, don't just learn and act, but learn and act and teach, because teaching will take your awareness and understanding to the next level. So do it. Rahman, you like to share anything before we move to the next session, next subject?
So yeah, I mean, kind of similar to what everyone else is saying, the public speaking aspect of it. Also the aspect of really being able to, I really want to like write articles in the future, potentially write a book based on all my knowledge and experience, and just, taking that leap forward to write that first article. I think that's been kind of my own personal like handicap, taking that time to really sit down and kind of combine all my thoughts and put it into, now on LinkedIn, you can post an article and do stuff like all over. And so I really, to put myself out there, my expertise out there, and put myself more visible, across healthcare, I wanted to be able to do that. So I think for me personally, it's just the initial start of it. That's always what I have difficulty with, right? Like once I get started on something, then I push forward and I do what I need to do. But just getting started is always the hard thing for me.
When you have a scheduled date to start?
Yeah, I haven't even done that for this. So I've done it for my goals, like personally, in terms of like exercise and eating healthy. And I started that about a month ago. I've lost 7 pounds. So
Wow.
I've been good about that. But the but this part, which I know is really, really valuable for my networking and future growth and where I see myself in the potential future, I guess I'm afraid of like, if people read my article, which they'll probably will, but that they, will comment weirdly or say, what I'm saying is BS, or, you never know what they'll say. But
they will say, I'm telling you, they will say, and some will appreciate it. But again, if you changed one person's life, it is worth it. So
right.
Don't worry about the negative.
And I had a very like traumatic experience in my last organization where, my boss was racist towards me, and there was just a lot of stuff that was done that was just horrible. And I wanted to talk that out as to like, how can other minority leaders deal with that in the right way, right? And to be able to still be successful within the organization, and what can they do to strategically, approach that and manage, racism towards them. So that's what I wanted to kind of include in the article. So it's just about getting to that next step and starting it.
So just take a decision, schedule a date, and start. Even if you didn't feel the inspiration or the motivation, just sit down and start writing. You will get it. So if you want, we can be accountable to help you with that. Just set a date and we will follow up with you.
Maybe like early September. I just started a new job, so
okay. You're not stretching yourself enough. Okay. Okay. So the second part of the session is what's the benefit of stretching? I want to ask you something about the people who are around you, your environment, the people who you know, your family, your friends. Out of 10, how many of them you feel are stretching, and how many of them are settling for the average?
Well, I know I have I have 3 siblings, and I believe they're successful, right? One of them is a dental hygienist, which she's comfortable being a dental hygienist. I don't think she stretches herself more than that, because that's what she loves and she does what she wants to be. I have a brother who just recently stretched and became an entrepreneur. He opened his own company on flooring and tiling and all that stuff, and he's great at it. He loves it, and now he's dealing with things of being an entrepreneur, right? Paying people and bills. But that was his dream to do it. So he just did that. My other sister just recently took a course so she could work at a hospital, and she was always a stay-home mom all these years until now. Her oldest daughter is 18, so now she's going to work. She just got accepted to work. I'm not sure what she's going to be doing at a hospital, and so far they're all stretching in a way, except for, like I said, my other sister and her job. And
yeah, but as a number between every 10 people you know, or as a percentage, what's the percentage that you feel the people who are stretching, and what's the percentage of people who are settling?
of the people that I hang around with,
Yeah.
I believe the people that I'm around, 90% of them are stretching, they stretch themselves to go to the next level.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, I've seen, I think most of my friends are, I would say, are stretchers. Probably 2/3 of them. I've seen some people that I longtime friends that I have that are more comfortable, kind of just like living life, enjoying life, and not necessarily pushing themselves. Although they're still more open-minded and have like a tendency towards like new and better things. Then I've also seen friends of mine that I went to college with that have now become quite successful, and now it seems like maybe they're not as hungry, or they're kind of getting comfortable. So I've seen, I guess, both. But by default, I like to keep those people around, and so I think this group is great because I think all of us here are stretchers, and I think it's apparent in these calls.
Yeah, exactly. Mainly, most of the people are settling for average. Even if they were successful, they had a successful career and they reached a certain plateau, and then they settled for average. They didn't stretch themselves enough, and they still have potential in them. This is what the point of the sometimes stretching is not measured by how much money you are making. If you can make more, that means you are not stretching yourself enough.
But I think it's also, sometimes it's a stretch to say no to the money and focus on what's actually more important and your true priorities. And sometimes that's difficult. I think I've seen it happen to people where they will just go with the higher offer. It means like poor quality of work-life balance or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not only about the money or how much they are making. It's all life aspects. Maybe you're not stretching yourself enough physically. You are making money, but you have unhealthy habits. So it's all about your potential. You can have a good life and good job. Sarah, what about the people around you? How many do you feel are stretching themselves?
I did a
Huh?
I did a tally to just make sure who was stretching and who isn't.
Okay.
3/4 of the people, like immediate family and people around me on a daily basis, are stretching. There's a few that are just comfortable. Well, maybe to themselves they're stretching, but I feel like there's more potential and they could do it. But 3/4 of the people I'm surrounded by, including my son, because today he started 5th grade.
Oh my God, I feel sorry for these kids studying online.
Yeah, so I had to include him in my calculation.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's a good point that you actually mentioned, because if you didn't ask that question, I wouldn't analyze and see who I'm surrounded by, what they're doing. But I think that the majority are stretching. Yeah.
Who didn't answer? Arthur, did you answer?
No, I answered that. I'm intentional about whom around you. I mean, I kind of, in this juncture in my life, I'm intentional whom around. So I mean, if people ain't stretching, I don't even want to have a conversation. I mean, if I know where I'm going, and I know what the conversation needs to be, and I know, I mean, so, I mean, I don't even count my family because I look at, when I look at one person, I look at my father, what he went through. And so now my dad's multi whatever and what's going on, but he always saying, I'm where I need to be and I don't need to do any more. 74 years old and I don't need to make any more. I'm just good. And I'm always saying that there's always a next level. There's always a next level. And he's saying, well, guess what? I'm at that level I need to be. So I've always, so when I look around the people around pretty much, I like to say I'm about 90% or 95% of the people stretching. I mean, I'm always, and if because I know where I'm trying to go. And I try to make sure that my conversation, my actions, and my time are intentional based upon where I'm trying to achieve. And based on people that I'm hanging out with, they're trying to achieve the same thing too and stuff. So, yeah.
Rahman, are you with us?
Yes. I would say 50-50. Close friends that I have, and I think even some of my family members don't really stretch themselves regularly. I haven't been really as conscious about that. I've only recently started to, read some articles about, the top 5 people around you are the ones that are going to kind of determine, how you are in your future and things like that, which I agree with. So I have actually had tough conversations with my best friends about some of those things. And so it's kind of interesting that we're talking about it now as well. But yeah, for me, it's 50-50. I would prefer to be where Arthur is with like the 90-95%. But right now, just with my current situation, it's 50. And I'm hoping that my friends and my circle changes over time as I move into different types of circles.
Yeah. Now, usually it's a fewer number of people who stretch themselves. People always settle for average. So as per studies and what is happening in the world, people have the mentality of settling for a certain job and have the mentality of the less we know, the less we work. So it's easier for them. Average is more than enough. They settle and they go through their life in the normal way. Now, why you have most of the people around you who are stretching? Because you have this awareness to select the right people to surround yourself with. But if you look at the people in the grocery store and you look at their backgrounds or what they are doing, you will know that they are living the average life and they are happy with it. So most of the people don't pick a book after college or high school. This is what we know. Now we got a job and that's it. This is how we continue. We will wait for our retirement plan. And this is how we will spend our days.
Yeah, I'm not indifferent to anybody else. I mean, we go back a couple of years ago, and I was Cynthia. I was like, dude, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I was coasting. I said, I'm good. I mean, I did, and I kind of put that on. Man, I did 27 years. I retired. I don't need to be really going hard. The money's good and stuff. But then what happened was this, I kind of asked myself and had to say, what are the things that you want the most? And if you've been comfortable, is it going to show up?
Yep.
And if I wanted it bad enough, that means that I got to get out my comfort zone again. That means I got to put some pain into my life because growth comes with pain, right?
Exactly.
They're hand in hand. And stuff. So, and sometimes pain comes in the form of doing things you don't want to do. It's creating new habits and get rid of the old habits. And a lot of people are not willing to do that because it's too painful and stuff. So I had to just get out of that comfort and just get into a whole different habits and stuff. So I've just had to just really realign myself and my thoughts and my actions had to be towards my goal and my conversation stuff. So yeah, so I've been there too. I've been to the point where I was coasting and then realized that I got so much more to give, and it's not fair to other people for me to just stand on the sidelines and become a spectator and stuff. So
yeah. What do you think about the word average?
I think average is this thing that people, I think that, well, I mean, what average can be based upon each individual, what they see average. But when I think of a person average, I think the person just gets up, he gets dressed, he goes to work, he does need to do. He comes home, he eats, he sits in front of the TV, takes a shower, and go to bed. Does that 6 day, 5 day, 5 a week. He just goes with whatever life gives me. I'm not hurting, but I ain't really doing anything great. I'm just right in the middle. And you know what? And I'm good. That's average.
Yep.
Yep.
Anyone, what does it mean to you when you listen to the word average?
When I think of average, the thought that comes to mind is like being reactive or just go with the flow and not really being like setting intentions or being intentional with everything. Like you wake up and you check your email to see how your day is going to be. So that's what I think of average. I'm sure there's many other things that define average, but that's what comes to mind when I hear that word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cynthia?
Oh.
Yeah, Raman.
Yeah, for me, average is really like the status quo, you know, kind of just going along like what Arthur was mentioning. I'm sorry, is that your correct name? I might have gotten it wrong.
We can't hear you. Can you raise your voice?
Oh, can you hear me better now? Sorry.
Yep.
Okay, sorry about that. So for me, average is really just like going with the status quo, right? So doing the normal thing that you got to do for the day, potentially, you know, doing the average thing, not thinking outside of the box, not being innovative, not being creative, not challenging yourself, you know, not professionally growing, not personally growing. So like leaving yourself to just, you know, go through the motions of the day without consciously being aware, you know, and making those changes in yourself to progress. And I apologize, I do have to go. It was great talking to all of you.
Thank you for joining and hope we see you next week.
Hopefully I can take care, guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Cynthia?
I think that average means has a different meaning for everybody, depending on where you are, right? If somebody maybe that I'm not gonna say specifics, but I think average means different things for everybody. To me, average means right now at this stage in my life means someone that doesn't have goals, that just works and just kind of lives day by day and doesn't really have ambition or stretch.
It's just showing up.
Yeah, just showing up. Somebody that's not stretching and they're just showing up. They're living and they're comfortable where they are. They're not really looking to go to a next level.
Yep. Abraham Maslow says, if you plan on being anything less than you are capable of, you will probably be unhappy for the rest of your life. You set yourself to destruction. So at the end, even if you were settled and it's fine and you are living like on autopilot, but at the end of your life, you will feel a lot of regret because you didn't use all your capabilities. You have a lot of potential and that remained unfulfilled. Stretching always starts from inside out. And we always talk about growth happens from inside. Whatever we have inside of us is expressed in our actions, in our looks, in how we walk, in everything. Do you feel that you can change or you can achieve more than average by actions, or more you need to start from your mindset?
I think it starts with your mindset. Everything starts from the inside. You know,
Okay.
how you feel, your thought process, it's what you're going to portray, is how you're going to be able to lead other people, is how you're going to achieve different things and whatnot. It's not, it doesn't happen from the outside. It all starts here.
Yeah. That's why we all know that we have to eat healthy food. We all know that we have to exercise, but most of us don't do that on a regular basis. We eat fast food, we don't exercise, we spend hours on Netflix. We know these things we shouldn't do, but we settle for these things. We accept to do these things. The only way we can change these habits is by going inside our minds and develop the right mindset, which is not easy, right?
Yeah, I kind of feel like, where there's no consequences, there's no action. When and what I mean by this, when we say we should eat good, we should do all those great things like you says. But then again, what we see is that we don't, for instance, if you ate a bad hamburger and your leg fell off, you probably wouldn't eat a hamburger again, right? So I think that a lot of us in life, we go through life because there's nobody holding us accountable. So by the time we realize how much we really lost in life, it's too late. And so I think that, so therefore, when there's no accountability or there's no accountability, you will always settle for just being in the middle. And I think that people, and we're just procrastinators. We're natural procrastinators, and we like to reason with ourselves. We like to tell ourselves things we know, like I'll just start my diet next week because it's not important right now. It's important right now, but the fact that you want to do something that's really good right now, you just push it off. So I think that there's no accountability, and there's no I remember before anyway, there's no accountability or there's no pain involved, and we'll always settle.
Yeah, I agree. And as a proof for what you are saying, let's evaluate this idea. You are exactly where you should be in life, given everything you have done to get here.
Yeah. I think that I think the first thing that we have to realize is that we're right where we need to be. And you need to take the steps, and you need to own that. You got to go, hey, I'm here because of this. And
I did this, yeah.
And you got to take it as it didn't happen to me, it happened for me. And to me is playing the victim, and for me is playing, you know what? I'm growing up with that. So I'm going to take what I have and take what I've learned in the past and put it to the present right now, so I can apply it to the future. And that means that where I'm at right now is either in my thought process, either going to advance me, hold me back, or either I'm going to fall back and stuff. So you got to take ownership where you are right now, and then make a crucial decision whether you're going left or right.
Yeah. Any comment?
Yeah, I'll comment. It reminds me when you're talking about, from the inside out, I think that there's a great scene in the movie Cinderella Man where the bulldog's fighting like Joe Louis or somebody, and he tells him he has to beat him from the inside out with his mindset. And the mindset, actually, in the movie, you see him like physically represent his mindset, which is like, he's not going to lose. Like, he's, no matter what happens. And so the other guy like freaks him out, and because he sees that, and like he's all bleeding, and it's like not phasing him. So I think that's great. And also reminds me of, I guess, I work in IT, so it's like a computer program. I mean, you need the code, which is really like your computer is just by itself, it's nothing, but you need the code that tells it like how to start, how to run, what to do, all that stuff. And now with like these, cloud-based IT, you can write code, and you can actually like enable additional computers, and you can like work together with all these computers and do like way like complex stuff that you wouldn't be able to do with just single thing. But all that, you have to have the blueprint, and that's the code. And that's kind of like how I'm starting to like see our like brains and like myself and like programming myself, not like physically, not like literally with code, but like through these affirmations, through these talks, all this stuff, being open-minded. So you're telling your body and your actions, or you're telling your subconscious, either way, you're getting the message across and like what you need to do in order to reach where you want to go. And having those goals is also key in that, kind of like a computer.
Yeah. You reminded me, I attended a session for Eric Worre. He is one of the top leaders in network marketing. And he was talking about this correction in your behavior. He said, if you wrote a Word document and you printed out and there was a typo, if you deleted this typo by a corrector and you write it again on the paper and you print it back, it will still with the typo. The only way to delete the mistakes that you are thinking of is by going back to the main file, the original file, what's in your brain, and correct this typo. So it's like he gave this example just to make it closer, but with the computer example you said, it just popped in my head. You can't correct the file from just deleting it on paper. You need to go to the origin. That's it from the mind.
I mean, yeah, that's, if you have habits and you're not eating healthy, let's say, and you have one day where you're eating well, that's not going to, like, just having that one day isn't going to change your habits and your thought process. You're going to go back. So you need to start with those habits from the inside, from your mindset and how you approach that, rather than just saying, you know, I'm going to do this for one day and then you go back to the way you were.
Yep, exactly. Any comment?
No, sorry, I'm
You're leaving?
okay. You can see me now. Yeah, I had to leave the office.
Okay. So the second thing we want to talk about stretching, it requires a change. It's important. In order to stretch, we need to change our, if you want to stretch in life, like physical stretch, you need to change your position. You need to change how your body is, the posture. We need to stretch. We need to believe that we can start again. If you stretched and did a certain action outside of your comfort zone and failed, you need to know that you can still start again and try again. It's not, maybe you stretch and it doesn't work from the first time. You need to expect that. And this is one part of the stretching behavior, that you take failure as a lesson to improve and try again. The second thing about stretching, we need to develop the ability to stretch. And it's very important when we need to stretch in regular workout. We can't directly stand up and split. It's developing this ability. You can do 100, Arthur left 100 push-ups at one time. You need to start with 5, then 10, then 15, and then you will grow this ability. So stretching takes time, and it should be step by step. You can't go from 0 to 100 directly, and it requires risk. Do you believe that risk is a part of stretching?
Yeah, because you're doing something that you weren't used to. Is you're taking a risk of doing it right or wrong, or taking a risk of getting out of your comfort zone. You may say, we're gonna fail, and so it's a risk. You know what I mean? And it's getting out of your comfort zone. It's a risk. It's jumping the unknown. So it's definitely a risk, and it's because it's stretching you is something that we're not used to.
Yeah, if you know you're not going to fail, it won't be stretching. You will do it anyway because you're
right.
Not failing. So it's important part of taking this risk.
I think that they say, right, if you knew talking to strangers in my business, every stranger was gonna say yes, and you were gonna make $1,000 out of each one. You will talk to everybody, because you knew they're gonna say yes.
So it's about taking the risk and expecting rejection, failure, or any other consequence. Let's think about this quote. It's never too late to be what you might have been. It's never too late to be what you might have been.
Yeah, so I think that this kind of like makes you think about like, okay, so you might have been something, but you could still be something. And what like what your goal is like, it's both a process and a destination, I feel like, because I don't feel like there's some destination that we're like trying to get to and then we'll be happy or whatever. I think we have to go. I think the destination is already inherent in the process. So you are where you are, and you just have to treat everything that, will take you further to that next level we've talked about as part of that process. But at the same time, you can't be holding out holding out for some destination. It's all kind of like one and the same. So I think that addresses like, okay, you might have been something, you could still be something, and you are becoming something.
Yeah, mainly it's let them explain what they think about it. Sarah, muted.
I didn't really think too much about it, but just reading it, it's self-explanatory. It's never too late to start. That's what I took as a quote. So there's not a certain timeline. I've been reading a lot and seeing that don't follow other people's timelines. If you're 30, 40, 50, like it's never too late to go back to school, to get married, to have children, for anything. So it's never too late to start.
Yeah. Cynthia?
Oh, so yeah, I mean, when you mentioned that, what it could have been, that just bothers me, thinking what I could have been. You know what I mean? When you said it, I was like, what I could have been. No, I think that it's always in our thought. I don't remember exactly what the phrase was. I just remember I got stuck on what it could have been. But I think we always have. I mean, John Maxwell's dad is like 96, 97 years old, and he's still an entrepreneur, and he's still working. John Maxwell's 72 years old or 73, something like that.
Yes, 75, I think. But John Maxwell's dad died like a couple of weeks ago. So he's not still anymore. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. But until the end of his days, he was working on, and he was, leading people. So I think that it doesn't matter how old you are, you can achieve what you want. And I think, to me, the worst thing in your life is thinking what you could have been because you didn't work at it.
Yeah.
You didn't do the work that you were supposed to do. But also, Sarah, I agree with you. Everybody's different. Some people, we all had different timelines, and we can compare to other people. Okay, this person's here, and how did they get there, and what did they do? But I mean, we can compete to get to where those people are, but we can't compare because everybody has different situations.
Yeah. To me, I totally think about this. It bothers me too, because I think about it even before now. The time that passed before, there were a lot of things I could do to achieve what I need to achieve, like in 5 years ago. There's always like maybe things that I was scared to do. Maybe if I took the decision to move to the States 5 years ago, I wouldn't be building my business in Lebanon, and it will be destroyed because of the politics and situation. I will be growing. But in Lebanon, I was living every few years, I have a setback because of the situation and politics. So I might have been I might have achieved better level if I was building here, if I took the decision before. But again, it's never too late. Now it's time I start. Some people started at 40, some people at 50. So it's good for me to start at 18. It's fine. Okay. Stretching sets you apart from others. As we said, most of the people settle for the minimum and they think good is enough, and that's fun. John Maxwell says there's a plenty of room at the top. How do you explain that?
Can you repeat that again, Doctor?
There is plenty of room at the top.
Oh, so what was the whole sentence though?
Yep. Yes, Sarah.
What was that?
Oh
I'm just asking how can you explain that from your life experience? Do you feel there's plenty of room at the top?
Can I go?
Yeah, go.
You know, when like in the Olympics, there's gold, bronze, and silver, or silver and bronze. But at the top, it's not the Olympics. There's room for everybody to grow, to reach a certain level. It's not like, you know, one thing that, it's not a race. We can all get there. We can all reach that same level. So there's enough room for all of us to reach our full potential. It's not just the gold, or it's not, you know, I don't know.
But do people achieve the top?
Not everybody does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very few, but there is room for everybody to
There
reach.
is room if you decide, but unfortunately there's not of people around you, not much people around you, because it's not easy. It needs rest. It needs a stretching.
Mm-hmm.
How are you separating yourself from others in order to achieve the top?
To me, is by doing a lot of personal development, by stretching myself, getting out of your comfort zone. Like Sarah said, not everybody makes it to the top. There's only 5% that really make it to where, you know, that elite group. There's 95% of the population, then there's a 5%. And we have to make it to that 5%, which is where is what we're trying to achieve, right? But in order to get there, you got to work, you got to stay focused, you got to be consistent, you got to go through the challenges, you got to develop your mindset. We have to be mentally tough, and all those different things that, you know, that are uncomfortable and most people are not willing to do. To me, I have to make sure I stay consistent with my reading, with my affirmations, with staying healthy, with my fitness, right? All those things,
Yeah.
to me, that come in alignment. And but yeah, it's only 5%. We gotta make it to the 5%, or otherwise we're with the rest of the people, which is the 95%.
Yeah. Michael?
Yeah, I mean, I think like it's also about, for me, like, okay, getting to the top in that statement, but it's not really about the top or like some, like, I don't know. I guess it's more about like what my personal potential, what's my personal top, and not necessarily caring about some of the other trappings of success. And, you know, I've said this before, I think everyone has their own path. So,
Yeah.
you know, your path is going to be vastly different from somebody else's, and you're going to be fulfilled by different things. And the way that you achieve those things is also going to be, you know, uniquely fulfilling to you and your situation and your environment and your thought processes. So I just think that it's kind of it's a goal where it may apply in some cases, like you want to reach the top of, you know, your organization, your career, you're trying to get to a certain level and all that thing. I think, you know, what you were talking about with the quote, meaning that there was plenty of room, is that if you're skilled and talented and, you know, you work and you have these goals, that no matter what you think is the top, or if there's not room, like as long as you are handling your stuff and meeting your goals, that room will open for you. So that's kind of how I was thinking about that.
Yeah. And it's two parts question. It's two part phrase. One part that's everyone can achieve the top. It doesn't need any qualifications if you do what you have to do, as you are saying. And the second part is that all the traffic is in the low level because it's easier. But for people, if you went in a certain race, you see it starts with a lot of people, and then the harder and the longer the race is, the number of people will be less. Many of them will quit, will get tired, will give up. And only people who are committed and who are dedicated to the goal and who see the end in mind are the people who continue. So this is mainly the meaning of there's a lot of space at the top, because not everyone can go there. So it's an empty room waiting for certain people with significance, with real commitment and stretching. And answering what you said, Michael, about success, if you go search for the word success in the dictionary, there is no specific definition. They say it's accomplishment of an aim or purpose. Success. So it's not a specific aim or purpose. It can be money, it can be health, it can be just people who are settling for average. They think they are successful. They are living good enough. I can afford the bills. For them, they feel this is success. Everyone has a different definition about success. As you said, it depends on how you see it or what you want out of life. The last, we need to end. It's a nice session. I like the depth of the thinking. The last quote I need to discuss is Rabbi Naaman says, if you want be better tomorrow than today, then what do you need tomorrow for? If you want to be better tomorrow than today, then why do you need tomorrow for?
Well, I think tomorrow never comes, right? So it's always just a continual process. Like there's always now, and you always need to be getting better. That's it.
Yeah. Cynthia, you have any idea?
I mean, it doesn't really make sense to me. Why do we need tomorrow?
I think there's a connection.
Yeah.
We
Sarah?
definitely need.
Okay.
So you're cutting out there a little bit, Titi.
Oh, hold on. I'm in my garage, in front of my garage. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have to pull out a little bit. I'm not quite understanding the phrase, Dalida.
Okay.
Actually, why do we need tomorrow?
Let me explain it after Sarah, if she has any comments. So she digs deep her thinking. Yep, Sarah.
Just from hearing the quote, if we're not working hard enough, why? What are we looking forward to? So there's nothing to look forward to if, like, and that's how I.
Yeah. The point is, you need to think about stretching as a lifestyle. You need to be always in improvement. Tomorrow you should learn something you didn't know today, and it needs to be a lifestyle of daily improvement and daily learning, because this is how you grow. So if you are not planning to make tomorrow better than today, so there's no need to live a tomorrow. it's like it will be of no value. This is what mainly he means. It doesn't do any change if you live tomorrow or not. But as long as you're trying to improve and achieve new things, then it will be valuable.
Got it. Yeah, I have to run. So thank you so much for the session. I thought it was very productive.
Yep.
As usual.
Thank you. See you next week.
Bye, Michael.
That's good. Thanks.
Bye.
Night.
Yep. So we're done. Do you have any comments? Any?
I think all these sessions are great. Definitely, Sarah, I just want to say that I've seen the